getting a back issue because they put you on this online database without even knowing. They keep sending it out to you every month. It's a little strategy that you can use. Compass, this is another one. Like I said earlier, Compass comes in a hardcover edition, about 3-4 inches thick. But what they do is take excerpts out of the hardcover and produce trade magazines. So here are some examples here for Compass. This is Compass UK for business services. This would be Compass for Japanese companies operating out of Singapore. This would be Compass Italy for people involved with the food and tobacco industry. This is Compass from France that focuses on hydraulic and pneumatic equipment. This would be Compass in Germany. They focus on instruments, scientific industrial instruments. So they got thousands. Compass alone has thousands of these magazines. And what you want to do is sort and narrow down to the product that you're looking for. Okay, so again, foreign domestic trade magazines is a major source to uncover products. If you're lazy and you don't want to attend a trade show. What else do we have? Online databases, subscriber service. I said earlier about these trade directories, also trade magazines. Many times what you have to understand in these trade magazines, to take the ad in a back cover like this, Cessna Citation, it might cost them $10,000 to $15,000 per month. And how many times can you afford to run it? And many times what they do is sell executive jets. When they place an ad in here, what they're saying is, I'm serious about selling my product, take me to your marketplace. They're not just doing it for the sake of advertising. They're talking about doing business here. So what happens is, there might be only 2 people advertising executive jets in this particular issue. But if you go through the online database, there might be 50 or 100 other manufacturers who make executive jets. This is a major source of opportunities that entrepreneurs who don't know can uncover here. So this simply, I go back through their online database, they can show you manufacturers who you don't even know exist. They might be even the largest ones. The last one here is through your travels. As you know, if you come from another country, there's certain products that you have there that may be able to be sold here. Same thing, you see products here that may be sold over in the country that you come from. So you can import or export these products. But you're going to go on vacation on times, and now you can be looking through a different set of eyes as an entrepreneur. Because up until now, you've been a consumer. When you walk into a department store, you can say, how you're going to benefit from this particular product. But now, when you see and look at these products, you're going to say, how can I make money with this product, or how can I make money by utilizing this service? And I hope you get that feeling when you now walk out the door and go through different department stores and when you talk to other business people, how you yourself can make money from these ventures rather than not make money. So by the time you go through these sources, again, the blueprints, we go through 22, but you shouldn't have an idea, or you shouldn't have a problem in coming with an idea or product service to get involved with. Again, coming full circle, what you want to do is get into something you enjoy doing. This way, because at the beginning, there is going to be a lot of work and you won't see a lot of income coming in, but at least you enjoy what you're involved with, and then eventually the money will come. Step number 2 here is obtaining a sample or building a prototype. So if you're a manufacturer, it may not necessarily have to be a working example, because at this stage here, all you want to do is show the potential buyers to see if they're interested in buying the product itself. But on the other hand, what you may want to do is just get a sample. Again, it's easier just to sell someone else's product as a middleman. So depending on how the cost of the sample, if it's a consumer product, it might be only $50 or $100. But again, I said your money's made in industrial products. You might be selling global machines that cost $50,000 or $100,000. So you might not be able to afford a sample or a prototype, but what they will do is give you the next best thing. They'll give you a videotape of how this machinery works. They'll give you photographs from every position of the equipment. They'll give you schematic diagrams, everything that you need to know in order to show it to a buyer who would be interested in buying. If you're a serious buyer, one thing they would do is fly a VP of that company down to meet the buyer, or they'll fly that guy to where the machinery is being made itself. But it is possible to get at least a sample or at least building a prototype. Step number 3 here is testing your product. So again, at this stage, all we're doing is doing market research. We haven't invested $1 million in importing these products or spent $1 million in advertising this product. All you're doing is investing to one sample at this stage, and you're conducting market research to find out if people are interested in buying this product here. The better research you have, the better you're able to make a decision on here. Again, in lesson 12, we go through 12 points of these market research, and you have to arm yourself with how to access this information here. But the key here to do market research, generally the biggest source of information today is actually the government. They spend millions and millions of dollars on products and services. So here, what you want to do is get hold of some of these directories. The first one here is called Made in Canada, but it's called the Business Opportunity Sourcing System here. So here they have an online database that lists every product and service that you could think of in Canada that's being sold, or anyone who's operating a business. The other one here is called Vital Statistics. for Ontario. Okay, now each province probably has a similar type of directory, but what they do here is give you demographic information. They might say that average age of the population today is 37 years. By the year 2000, the average age might be 45 years old. So we see there's an aging population here, so we want to cater products that might fit into their purchasing needs. And no question, at 45, they're in their power stage there where they might represent $100,000 or $200,000 net worth. We may want to sell them some travel packages. We might want to sell them some fancy luxury cars or fur coats or jewelry. On the other hand, you might see there's another trend going where there's a new baby boom coming up here who might be interested in buying some of the latest electronics or entertainment equipment here. So using that information, you can cater a product. All you want to know really here is how much of the market you can capture based on your product or service. You might be 0.25%, you might be aggressive and say 1% of the market. Okay? So really, the more information you have, the better decision. I just want to emphasize here, don't be afraid to walk away from a venture. Because at this stage, you've only bought a sample prototype, you might have spent some money on postage and stage experience, but at least you haven't lost your shirt at this stage. Again, from what I showed you here, you realize there are thousands and thousands of business and product opportunities you can get involved with. So here, don't be afraid to walk from it. But what I want to do is sort of sidetrack here and cover a little bit on import-export for those who are interested in it. So the first one here, again, what we're looking at is the market potential. How much of the share of the market we're going to be able to capture here? You may want to consider the supply sources. Again, stay away from these new and unique products because chances are there's only one guy manufacturing this product, and if he can't supply it, you're out of business. You want to make sure you always have a backup supplier in whatever business you get involved with. And again, like I said, whatever business you get into, chances are there's going to be some competition. But at the early stages, if you've never been in business, stay away from these new unique products. The regulations that are tied to these products. In Canada, there are a lot of limitations, a lot of restrictions for certain products. Now, some countries are a little easier. Right now, Canada is trying to harmonize their tax system with U.S. Now they're trying to implement all three of them with Mexico. So it's still going to take 10 years to phase out all these duties and taxes to make it sort of one system of tariffs and duties. But overseas, our system is completely different with the country we deal with, Australia or Japan. So you have to understand each country has a different set of regulations. So starting out, what you're going to need is a professional. This is what we call a customs broker. He's an expert in this field of taxes and duties. And again, you can import products yourself, but we normally recommend using a professional at this stage. Later on, if you're importing the same product every month, every 6 months, then you can do away without him. But at the early stage, he's going to save you all kinds of time and money by using this professional. But like I was saying, some of the modifications that might have to be made, if you're importing electronic equipment, they might require CSA approval before you put it into the wall, or hydro approval in Ontario itself. So you may require both of those. You might require UL approval. Some other things like if you're importing an explosive product, you may not be allowed butane in the product itself until it lands in here, and then you might have to put it in. Certain transporting products, certain chemicals you might, if you get into industrial chemicals product there, you can't just ship it in a cardboard box. They have what they call the WIMS rules of how you handle the product and how you label these products itself. So again, a customs broker is going to be able to point out these pitfalls. Because the last thing you want to do, you might have heard of friends who import $20,000 worth of this product only to find out it's been seized at the border. So you can avoid these mistakes by learning in advance how to utilize some of these professionals. But the bottom line here is you want to know what your final cost landed right here in your warehouse is. And that's what, in order to have a bottom line price, in order to, when you go talk to a buyer, then you can give them a firm price. There's nothing more frustrating than trying to say you don't know how much it is that you can offer for them until how much they're prepared to buy. Okay? Some other things you may want to consider, again, we talked about getting a sample prototype or just obtaining a sample. You want to get some product literature. A lot of times when we go through these trade magazines, you might see one product being advertised here, and most entrepreneurs do. If you don't know what you're doing, say, I want the distribution rights for this product. Chances are this manufacturer, first he knows that you don't know what you're talking about, but more importantly, these guys probably manufacture a whole line of products. And more, that's what I said earlier. When you start a business, you can have 1 or 2 products, but really to be successful, you need a whole line of products. Okay? So here, what you want to do is get a catalog of their products. And chances are you'll get distribution rights to where no one else is asking for. But all you want really is product literature to make an intelligent decision on. Some other things that you want to be aware of is the pricing information. First one is what we call CIF, or cost, insurance, and freight. So you want to know the total price after everything here. FOB, point of export. They can quote you based on how much it is FOB from their warehouse or FOB from the point of where it's leaving, say the port. It might be an airport or it might be the shipping dock. So you got to clarify this. It's very important, the FOB where they're quoting the price from. Because Just the difference between his warehouse to the airport might cost an extra $500 to $1,000. So it's very important that you clarify this part. And the more you can negotiate there, the less it's going to cost you when it actually comes into the country. And the delivery and shipping information, how long it's going to take for them to bring it into this country. If you're talking to a department store and this guy, the manufacturer who's going to supply you, tells you it's going to take a month, the department store, chances are you have to talk to him 2 months in advance if he needs delivery the next month itself. So you have to organize your time based on what kind of requirements your buyers need. Okay? So that's some information you want to consider. But again, I just want to emphasize the three main friends that you need in business in importing would be a customs broker, a freight forwarder, and an international banker. Now, a lot of you guys think, I'm not interested in import-export, but I can tell you, you should learn a little about import-export, just like I said, you should learn a little about retail. Because whether you're in retail, if you're in service, again, you're going to be selling some products and you might be able to deal with the guy down the street for convenience, but knowing where the source and how to bring this product in the country yourself, you can save yourself 30 to 80% minimum, okay, by learning how to do it yourself. So a customs broker here, this is the guy who knows these 25,000 tax classifications and duties I was talking about. He's the expert. He spent his whole life studying these taxes. He's going to show you how you can save money. A lot of times you can bring a product unfinished and you pay no duty rather than bring it fully finished item. So they'll show you those little tricks there. A freight forwarder, he's the one who's responsible for transportation of the product. He knows every mode of transportation, whether it's a taxi, bus, rail, ship, air. He has contacts throughout the world. He can show you how to bring it the fastest way. It might be the most expensive, but he can also show you the cheapest way. A lot of times he might recommend bring it in a container, because containers are like 3 times the size of this room here. Now normally you might take a 10 by 10 area, but if you wait another month, you can bring it down to 1/10 of 100% if you were to wait and ship it in the container itself. So these guys have all the strategies to show how you can bring it into the country the cheapest. The last one, a lot of times you'll find that the customs broker, they also handle freight forwarding. Chances are if they're involved with international trade, but many times it's 2 different individuals, but the same company. Your international banker, now this is not your local branch manager, because you can tell your local branch manager can import products from Peru, for example, they'll probably fall out of the sea, okay? This international banker, he's usually doing this type of business every day, okay? So again, you want to check with the international branch of the bank that you're already doing business with, which chances are it's probably downtown Toronto. Okay, so those are the most important things that you need to know. These are just talking about different invoices, different types of paying for the product itself. The most popular form to pay for products today would be what we call through a letter of credit. Because many times you can work on direct billing, like we said, on terms there. But when you're dealing with a stranger overseas, it's really difficult to get payment or try to collect the payment. Because what happens is you say, well, why don't you send the product to me? When I get, I'll send you the cash. There's no guarantee I'm going to send him the cash. I might not like the product. At the same time, he says, why don't you send the cash? And I'll send you the product. Once he has my cash, there's no guarantee he's going to send me the product. So through intervening, we have international bank here. What we want to do here is open up a letter of credit. Now, if you're importing, say, $10,000 worth of product, normally it would cost you from 1/4 to 1%, 2% for a letter of credit, similar for using a customs broker service. If you're importing $10,000 worth of product, they charge you up to 2% commission, but it's worth their money, especially at the beginning here. So in a letter of credit, there's certain terms that you have to spell out. It might have to be a certain standard of material that's made of. But bottom line here, it's proof in manufacturing the quality product you're looking for. If he meets up to all those conditions that the 2 of you agree to, it's not just a one-way conversation here, but the 2 of you agree, as long as all these conditions are met, the funds will be released. Now, how the funds are normally released is once he's loaded onto the boat or on the plane, normally what you get is what they call an airway bill or a bill of lading. If it's on the ship, what happens, the captain's going to sign off that yes, he has loaded this product on based on the conditions of the contract. He's going to take this bill of lading to his bank, and he's going to fax this bill of lading to our bank. Once it's proof that the captain's signature is on here, our bank will release these funds to him. So the most popular form today of payment would be a letter of credit. In the blueprint, we go into some creative sources of financing, like back-to-back letters of credit. So you're actually having someone else open up a letter of credit on your behalf. Some creative financing strategies, but again, most popular and above the board would be letter of credit. Some other things you may want to be aware of. First is being the more specific you are, just like we talked about that acquisition criteria, the more specific you are in asking for the kind of product you're looking for and spelling out the contract, the less headaches and hassle you're going to have here. So again, if you check with a customs broker, he can give you tips on that area. the product in the country that you enjoy. Again, we said try and get into something you enjoy doing, and work with the countries that you already are familiar with. So if you come from wherever, Australia, you may want to start out with your home country because you're very familiar with the demographics in that country. There's, again, the government provides information and worldwide information on those countries, minimum. But again, that's just factor information that you get on the encyclopedia. But it takes years to acquire. Even being in Canada for 20 years, you may not know everything about Canadians. I had the opportunity to travel across Canada.